Hello, welcome to another edition of the Willie Bragg Show. I'm your host, Willie Bragg, and I didn't do a video this morning because I was a little too sleepy from work. I was really dead to the world. I was going to do a video, but I was very tired, and I'm sorry. And in my intro with my messages in the show, I'm still kind of tired, so I had a little typo too, so I apologize. I promise you I'm not a dumbass. We all do typos every once in a while. Can you all please forgive me? I'm only human. But anyway, I want to talk about something I have noticed in, I would say maybe in the last couple of weeks. And it's tied to something I've been noticing in the last year. And of course, we're talking about Kyle Kulinski's channel, Secular Talk. Now, with regard to Kyle Kulinski's channel, Secular Talk, it's been with the shit that was going on last summer with the between Jimmy Dore, the Young Turks, and Kyle Kulinski got pulled into that drama that was going on between TYT and Jimmy Dore. and it ended up he was on his way to getting over a million subscribers. He was, I think, at 983,000 subscribers, and he ended up losing about 13,000 subscribers or so. It was something like that, and he's been sort of bouncing back and forth, like getting down to 969,000, 970,000, getting it back up to 974,000, and now he's back down to 970,000. And everybody's been talking about, is this channel dying? Is this channel dying? Is this channel dying? And granted, Kyle Kulinski is probably the favorite of mine of all the online left. I would say he's the one that I would call my influence. He was the one that motivated me to start this channel. So having that said, and I will confess that his channel his material is running dry occasionally. I think it had a lot to do with Bernie Sanders dropping out 2 years ago. Has a lot to do with, Donald Trump not being in the news quite as much, although he is still on the news in his own right in many ways. But when you have something as boring as Joe Biden, and sometimes because you're kind of, even if you're distantly so, even if you're criticizing Joe Biden, that sometimes you're compelled to have to defend him against the most ridiculous attacks against Joe Biden. There are legitimate attacks of Joe Biden, but the only legitimate attacks there is of Joe Biden is you're attacking Joe Biden from the left. Any attack of Joe Biden, any attack of the Democrats from the left is legitimate. None of it from the right. I repeat, when you criticize Democrats, when you criticize President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris from the left, that's always legitimate. But when you're doing it from the framework of what passed for the right, then it's bullshit. Because honestly, Joe Biden is pretty much a rhino Republican that's barely socially liberal on a few issues. And he's only so just kind of kicking and screaming when he's having a non-dementia moment. But anyway, so there you have it. So, there he is. He's having to defend the status quo occasionally because Kyle is kind of invested in the Democratic Party by large measures through being supportive of Bernie and the squad. Now, he gets a lot of shit for defending Bernie and the squad too much. Now, I think he's been more critical of the squad than some people on the left has said. A lot of people think they sort of view Kyle as being like the Young Turks or being like Majority Report in that regard. No. He may not go after the squad and Bernie in the same manner as someone like, let's say, Jimmy Dore and those who are distinctly on, let's say, the Jimmy Dore left. But I mean, he certainly goes after the squad and Bernie more so than, let's say, we call boutique leftists like the Young Turks and David Pakman or Majority Report. Not criticizing them. I'm just saying that, honestly, Kyle is sort of in that in-between world of the TYT left and the Jimmy Dore left. And ideologically speaking, I think he's probably in the best place as far as the ideology is concerned. My only issue is that I do think he defends the Democrats just way more than I would care for him to do so. But I was relieved to know that he actually votes Green Party more than anything else. And he only registers a Democrat in New York because he kind of has to for the sake of primary votes and all that. So there is that. But let's talk about what's going on with his decline in subscriptions. Okay. I have noticed in the last month, I have noticed that when I watch Secular Talk, he's not doing it from his studio anymore. He's doing it from his home. Now, that's significant. He's not wearing his blazer. He's dressing casually from his home. Now I'm thinking to myself, why is that? I mean, it's looking like he's not going to do it from his studio anymore. Um, if you got 970,000 subscribers, I don't think that there's a hell of a lot of difference your income would be from maybe having 983,000 subscribers. I think you're probably still doing well financially. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. And everybody's saying he's washed up and his channel's dying and what have you. I don't think so. I think he's running through a slump right now due to it kind of being a non-election year, but I think his channel's probably going to start to pick back up as the election season began with the midterms. That's what's going to happen. And then when the presidential election heats up again, about this time in the next 2 years, I think that's when, his channel will probably pick up as well as everybody else's channels. And probably even my tiny little piss ass channel will probably pick up too. But the point I'm trying to make is that there is a reason why he's doing his channel from his home. And I am speculating. I'm not saying this is what's up. I'm just giving my opinion, my observation, just what I am observing in the last year and a half, what I think might be happening in regard to Kyle Kulinski, in regard to his channel, his studio, and what's going on down in DC with Breaking Points, Crystal Ball, all of that. So, as I said, he's doing it from his studio lately. So, I mean, he's not doing it from his studio lately. So you contrast that photo there from what we all know from his channel, from all the years that we've known any of us who watches his program. Hold on a second. Where are we? Oh, okay. For some reason, I am not finding that studio. Okay, but that's fine. He's not doing it from his studio anymore. So, anyway, so as you all know, as I said, he's been working with Crystal Kyle and friends. He's been doing that for quite a while. And of course, earlier this year, a few months ago, we found out, and many of us knew that Crystal Ball and Kyle Kulinski were kind of seeing each other on the side, and we kind of know they're an item now. They're an item, and we know that now. We knew that before. They were keeping it on the hush hush, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So he's not just coming there to work with Crystal on a professional basis every weekend. So I have a feeling that there is possibly a move on the making, because also he might be downsizing with the possibility, and I think it might be a good business decision, since it is looking like Breaking Points may be on the verge of becoming a network. And the reason I'm saying that is that they're behaving like a network as opposed to a program, because you got Breaking Points with Crystal and Shea Garden. You got Kyle, Crystal, and friends. And then it came to my attention recently that they had another edition, and that other edition was, of course, Status Quo with Jordan Sheridan. He's working now with them. So it looks like there is a network in the making. So it would stand to reason that Kyle Kulinski could potentially, I'm just saying, move down to DC, and he may be. It wouldn't surprise me. Let me put it this way: it wouldn't surprise me in the least that he'll come down to DC and do the program Secular Talk from Washington, D.C., and it'd be part of this, what I would call Breaking Points Network. So what does this all mean? Well, it means that Shank and Anna will have serious competition on their hands. And while I'm not mad at the Young Turks anymore, I mean, they still do. They're capable of still reporting on good material, good takes, and everything. Many times they still are not. But and I will say that about most people on the boutique left. I mean, of course, I'm going to agree with a lot of the shit libs more than I'm going to disagree with them. But when I disagree with shit libs, I really do disagree with shit libs, even though I may still have some shit libs tendencies still within me, and I acknowledge that. But thing about it is that that Breaking Points may be a main competitor to the Young Turks, and I said that. Let it happen. It's about time, honestly. I mean, and what do I have to lose by saying this? I mean, I have a small channel. It's not like Shank and Anna's going to go and hire me and make me part of the Young Turks. So, thing I'm trying to say is that, believe me, the more competition out there, the better. There are Breaking Points, if it becomes an official network to compete with the Young Turks, you can look at it this way, that there will be an entity that will be more independent than the Young Turks. I don't agree with necessarily every position. Some foreign policy positions I'm not too keen on. They do take some positions on foreign policy that's a little more interventionist that I may be comfortable with. I'm a pacifist. I'm a hell of a lot further left on foreign policy now than I used to be. I used to be a little more on the what would one call shit lib side of the equation years ago. Never been a neocon, but I had to realize that a lot of people who take shit lib positions on foreign policy, they got to be careful because it could lead to that, and that's a dangerous ideology to walk into. So I do hope that they will put that into consideration, and they will kind of, if they hear this, they will take that as humble criticism from my part toward them, friendly, humble criticism, because I mean, I do like that arrangement that they have, because I just think that there needs to be a positive shakeup on the online left, because it's kind of running dry these days, and it's becoming too much of the same old, and it needs some shaking up and needs to breathe new life to where we can all go back to where it was, where there was kind of a driving thing that was going on between 2016 and 2020, when the Bernie Sanders thing was flourishing, whether Bernie Sanders is still in the equation or not. I mean, and we all need to move past Bernie, whether Bernie runs again in 2024 or not. And that includes myself. I mean, honestly, that includes myself. Probably the loudest Bernie bro you will ever meet to this day. After all, I was the damn first Bernie bro in existence online. Ask anybody from the Socialist Party from 20 years ago, and they'll tell you, yeah, he was. Yeah, he was when I look back. But anyway, that's just my take. So I'm just going to sum it up by saying that I think that there are some changes that Kyle's making, and as I said, and I'm saying this, and this video could be totally irrelevant, and everything I could say, I could just be talking out of my ass right now, and everything I said could be just full of holes and just wrong as hell. I mean, but I'm just connecting dots and making observations, and to me, I just think it'll all make sense how this could pan out. So that's pretty much what I got to say. I have to go to work in a little bit, so I'm going to conclude by saying, if you like what you heard, press like and comment. And if you don't like, comment anyway. Share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we're the muckrakers of our time. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, help keep independent media alive. And until next time, remember there's no war like the class war. And when it comes to military conflict around the world, remember it's all a racket to serve the military industrial complex and defense contractors domestically. And also remember this, that we need to support absolute free speech, because when we defend the speech that we detest and hate the most, we're also defending our own damn free speech, which means that we need to also defend freedom of the press because of people like Julian Assange. And when he's not free, none of us are free, because we're all Julian Assange. And let me say hey real quick to Dirtbag Leftists. Hey. And I'm going to conclude by saying to y'all, have a great day. And I'm going to conclude also with music. So let me conclude by saying to you all, music. Take care.